good morning for me and for those who are in this same part of the world. And I don't know, maybe good night or good evening for the rest. Uh, so, welcome to this, I think, the last session of the day 4 of Global Hack Week. And actually, yeah, I think it's the last session because I'm doing Welcome to Day 5 just after this. Uh, so, I'm really excited to be here, seeing some amazing hackers as Samundaki, Harunkaru 28. Hey, the good old 404 that found. Hey, Alberto, how are you in this global hack week? I'm very fine. Actually, I was telling yesterday that we were running the flow event, the flow session that I'm kind of busy this month because I'm closing up my semester. I have a lot of work to do, and it just being annoying to say it in a way. But hey, I love being here. So woo, it's Alberto. Thank you so much. Good morning, Alberto. Good morning, Ishimori. Circuit student, good morning, Alberto. Hey, I like you being so polite, chic. Hey, hello. The good Rick with, again, I'm so sorry if I don't pronounce it right, but I think it's Read with Tree Betty. Hey, Alberto, nice to meet again. Yes, do you have a good rest? Do you had the chance to put all knowledge of flow in your dreams? Do you dream in crypto? Of hope you get all this stuff done. Thank you so much. And hey, hello for eclectic. I slept for 15 minutes. No, have good habits of um, have a good time of rest. It's vital, super important stuff. So, if you just have 15 minutes of sleep, I recommend you to go and sleep more. You can always watch the recording of this. Don't worry. If you have any questions, just leave it in the chat. I'll answer that. Don't worry too. But yeah, sorry I dissociated. Um, we'll sleep more today. Good schedule today. Okay. Yeah, but talking about that, remember, I we have the walk to the schedule after this. So I recommend you to stay tuned after we close up this Soroban session, and we will heavily check the today's schedule and go to a Q&A section. I see we have a lot of audience today. I'm kind of excited for that too. I'm going to talk about yesterday's session. If you miss it, you can always, again, watch the recording. And I'm going to say the same thing that yesterday I said. I plan to do these sessions. If you see the names are very similar, actually it's the same. You just change the technology. Implement Flow, Soroban, or StartNet in your next hack because as a early hacking coach attending these events during this season, I realized no much hackers try. That's the worst thing. No much hackers even try to do these things with Web3. Um, Asking them why. They say this is very complicated. The documentation it's confusing, overwhelming. Um, they don't feel skilled enough. Lots of things, and even those who try, the ones who actually say like, "Hey, yeah, I can do it," um, don't achieve to complete their hacks or their submissions on time. Eclectic, exactly my thoughts. Okay, but yes, I know it can be overwhelming. Yeah, yesterday we saw it with the flow documentation. There are a lot of things. Um, But good things. We were talking yesterday about there are two news: bad news and good news. Bad news, it's that there are no easy way. You need to learn a lot of theory, heavy theory, in order to comprehend a little bit more what is happening in Web3. Um, and I was saying, I don't even know what's fully happening. I don't even know how mathematically things are processed, how these algorithms work, how they optimize the blockchain, how they optimize the the way they store the data. There are a lot of things I don't know, but they are. Um, there is a little layer of knowledge that you must make your own, that you need to comprehend in order to this to work. What the blockchain is, what a block is, what its proof of work, what its proof of stake, what a smart contract is, how the transactions are processed, what a wallet is, these kind of things, right? Um, and the good news, because that was only bad news, is that even though if you don't fully comprehend this, because yes, it's a lot of things to process, even for weekend that you want to build a project for this. Even though if you don't know what's happening, what's the what the wallet is, how you're connecting to it, blah 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 blah. Um, these tools for our partners have great documentation, have amazing examples on how you can implement these tools, and they give you like the idea of, hey, Web3 is this, and you can use it in these use cases. If fits your project, we will be so glad to help you create and develop together. So that's the very good news here. Um, hmm. Prime time for MLH stream, and Alberto is amazing. Hey, thank you. Exactly my thoughts. C, Web3 equal hard. No, no, that doesn't mean that. I mean, you can put whatever label you want here. Machine learning can be hard. All technology can be hard if you got deep enough. But the great thing about modern technology is that they come like fragmented, you could say. You can enter in a very easy way, and you then can go deep until it gets hard. But learning the basic stuff should not be hard, and that we for any technology. Also, I find I'm making not so useful projects when I compare my projects with others. Example, sorry, did you hear that? It's just noise from the street. Um, Also, I find I'm making not useful projects when I compare my projects with others. Example, I'm making marketplace versus an AI assistant generating code. Mm, I don't know. Eclectic. I don't know. I think that the things with projects that are using AI, it's that some cases they are just they can be very good. Don't get me wrong. And even in the last hack I attended, the Lindsay hack, we have a team of hackers that built something with AI that actually worked very good because it was like a teacher assistant for day to prepare content for their classes. But that's the thing. It was trained that it helped the teachers to make slides based on a topic, to grade assignments, lots of things. But it was really focused and it was trained, and it was not just an API call or something that gets a layer between the OpenAI GPT generic model and your sorry, and your interface. But I see that in most of the cases. I see lots of projects that says, "Hey, we built a AI thing," and you check the code, and it's just a wrapper for the generic AI model for OpenAI or BART or whatever you call it. I don't know. I don't see that as useful as you may think it is. If you learn how to focus your project, for example, this marketplace, and you learn how to understand what the problem is and why you're building it, and which problems will solve for the community, for your focus group, and you planned it that way, and you build the tools they need in order to solve that problem. A marketplace without AI, with Web3, for example, can be much more useful than some generic AI assistant that generates code, because there are tons of it, you know. So don't get me wrong, Greg Click. Uh, keep keep trying with those projects, and the main thing here, it's not the technology but how you apply it, which necessity that technology resolves, and well, that's it. Niche marketplaces can do really well. Exactly. Yeah, I really mean this. So, returning to what we were talking about, Web3 being not hard, let's say intimidating, yeah, because it is. I wanted to give these sessions to read the documentations, to help you walk through to this process of learning these technologies as we did it with Flow. I'm going to share my screen and we will start looking for these technologies, Soroban, in the web. So let me prepare for that. Galactic, thank you for your words. I really need them. Hey, don't worry. We're here for you, buddy. Slide. No. Share screen. Oh, give me a second. I'll need to. This time I don't have a second monitor, so it will be different. Okay, here it is. So same, we can Google or look for Soroban Web3. You will find out that it is the one, the Stella ecosystem. So click here. Stella, it's the network. Soroban, it's how to explain it. That's a good thing to know, right? You can think of Soroban as essentially a Stella 2.0, because Soroban incorporates all the Stellar's existing functionality, but with the new layer of the smart contracts. So Stellar is the network. You probably hear of this. I even hear of this before they were majorly hacking partners. So I think this is a really, really cool ecosystem. And this ecosystem is focused on assets, but for example, for how to say it, to perform digital operations with values in crypto, but the equivalents in fiat, like dollar, peso, pound, yen, etc. Right? So one of their big competitors could be MoneyGram. So this network is essentially for moving this crypto and the fiat shamelessly. So remember, at the Mainly Hacking, we have lots of resources for you. So you can go Google it as I mentioned, but also you can go the hacked.ac/Soroban, and you will see we will be reading to the documentation. What else? We can check the GitHub repo, hacked.ac/Soroban/repo. Oh, no, not repo, sorry, GitHub. Here. And well, a more detailed explanation about their ecosystem. Stellar, it's a layer one open source dedicated decentralized blockchain network aiming to create equivalent access to the global finance system. Stellar is designed to enable creators and developers to build projects on the network that can interoperate with each other and the world's financial system. So this network or this project it's mainly focused for transactions. Uh, if you don't know what a layer one is, there's a classification. For example, layer one, it's the whole network, it's like whole ecosystem. Um, in layer two scenarios, for example, you take advantage of an existing network. I think I don't want to lie, but if I remember well, it's the StarNet. It's a layer two of Ethereum. For example, Ethereum is the layer one, the famous Ethereum. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. It will make sense with time. But the main idea here is they possess the whole network, and this is the full ecosystem. It not rely on other networks or other um, how to say it on other technologies. So the advantage here is that you have a layer one open source decentralized blockchain. Um, the decentralized thing, I think it's sometimes not worth to mention because all Web3 should be decentralized, at least in my opinion. But well, here is. Soroban is an open source Rust-based smart contracts. Here, if I remember well, we have a Rust fan. Yesterday, we were talking about why all the crypto environment has of um, lots of languages for their Web3 stuff. Well, in this case, they got simple Rust. For example, yesterday, the smart contract language was a new one called Cadence for the Flow ecosystem. In this case, well, Rust-based smart contracts, right? So if you like more Rust, then this will be a better fit for you. Again, depending on which project you are planning to do. For example, yesterday we saw, um, I think, for example, for NFTs, some things like that, Flow had a better integration, managing easily with React and a lot of technologies. What else? Soroban integrates with and works alongside existing Stellar blockchain about Stellar docs. Blah. Okay. Oh, we moved all our documentation content previously at Soroban.stellar. It has been merged into one consolidation in the Stella developers documentation. I think we need to update this. Okay. Redirect from this page in and paste. If you have any issues, okay, so let's go there. Welcome to the Stella developer docs. Okay, but let's return to the main page to see. Um, mhm, mhm. Okay, nothing new. We already talked about this, and we can see the dev docs are the ones that we were redirected to. So we can close this. We can close the previous documentation, and here in the new documentation, we can see they had something similar as they were mentioning in their repo. The developer docs will teach you how to build applications, issue and tokens, write smart contracts, set up ramps, set up validation nodes, and more. If you can find answer in the questions, you will can search the questions in developer Discord server. Sorry, the Stella developer Discord server or Stack Exchange. Uh, I really like when they have Discord because the community is much more active in those places. Hmm. Let's open this first one, Stellar 101. Contribute developer resources. Okay, let's check what they have for us. Fundamentals. Let me check if you have any questions this far. What is Soroban? Okay, I think Soroban it's the how they decide to call the version 2 of Stella that integrates the smart contract. Previously, for that, I think they didn't have support for smart contracts in the Stella ecosystem. So that's just that. It's a Stella 2.0 that integrates Rust based smart contracts. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Stella is the main network. So, okay, got it. Thanks. It just started. Yeah, some minutes ago. 30 minutes ago, I think. Stella, it's really cool. At least it looks that way. Okay. Yeah, actually, I mentioned that even before they were uh, global, sorry, majorly hacking partners, I heard of this project, and I even think I do some transactions using Stella because they are really good, fast, and cheap in fees term. So let's get our hands into to our Stella. Fundamentals: build your foundational integration of what makes Stella the network thick. They have this is the heavy theory I was talking about, the consensus protocol, the Stellar stock, the list of operations, lumens, which are XLM, crypto asset of the networks, the Stella data structures, how they talk about fees, resource limit, and those kind of things. And in this section, we can find the proposals for what come up for the network. Um, so we are going to skip this because this is just reading. But I recommend you to come here and give it a read to these docs if you find things that you don't know, that you don't understand. Because same as we were talking yesterday, Web3 has I don't know what they like to complicate their ways and call things very oddly. But don't worry, you will get used to it. And well, the Discord server for both Stella and the Major League Hacking is open, so you can ask all your questions there in order when they appear. Right now, we are going just to focus on the building because that's what we want, right? To get a project up and running for our next hackathon. We have that experience. Smart contracts interacts. So write a smart contract. Fundamentals, getting started. Fundamentals, getting started. Stellar consensus protocol, fundamentals, smart contracts, materials, authorization type, encyclopedia. They have a glossary if, for example, what a burn is, what a base free is, um, the public key is the main net or the public net, what a Stella is, what's the consensus protocol. Yeah, I just wanted to check here before we move to the smart contract if they had some more definitions. Even they have quests for not column, fast, cheap, and out of control. Okay, um, Dapps challenge decentralized applications. The Soroban challenge is a new records for developers to explore the potential of building introductions, colorful Soroban Dapps challenge dashboard. Let's see what the greatest are. Leaderboard. Okay, this is interesting. They have like challenges. If you want to compete, you will be able to after you just finish this session. Let's close the GitHub too. Servant setup. Server contracts are small programs written in Rust programming language. To build and develop your contracts, you will need the Rust toolchain, an editor that supports Rust, and the Servant CLI. Let's install Rust. Um, for Linux, Windows, and Mac OS, this should be the command. If you use Mac OS and toolchain install Rust setup, the following command. Okay, let's start to do that. Let me prepare my screen to be completely sure. Finally, a game worth to mess around with. Yeah. Okay, now full screen it's presented. Here we are. Hmm. And the command is this one, right? No, sorry, curl brother. So let's execute, downloading the installer. What we want to do, welcome to Rust, blah blah blah, current installation operation, default host, Blah blah. Proceed with standard custom installation cancellation. Proceed with start. I'll just press enter. Cannot amend shelled profile. Hmm. Okay. I'll need to give permissions. Okay. Permission denied. Maybe we can. For me, this will be the way proto. Didn't we do that? TS SSF HTTP. Okay, so the error says could not amend your profile. Exactly this. Your home directory seems not to be editable, which crashes the installer. There seems to fix. Append -s -y to bash. You could give write permissions to can be edited or run. Yeah, I do it. Sudo. Mm, hmm. I am new to Rust, blah blah blah, Monterey. You can add source to your ZSH, assuming you use, which I believe it valid. Okay. Any ideas here? You are installing Rust first. Well, it's I guess with Rust. You are installing Rust. Yeah, I am installing Rust first. Okay. So I need to add something to show profile. I have my seat sh or c config, and I need to add source. This is Vim. If you haven't heard of it, insert source. Hmm. Well, I'm going to copy paste this. Let's do it again. Could not amend shell profile. Okay. The thing is, I don't have a bash profile. Or I do. Yeah, I have a bash profile. But, oh, this is for the kind of setup. Yeah. Mhm. Maybe I need to restart the terminal. Okay, not again. Okay, I'm not. Mm, mm. Oh yes, these ones. Okay, then no modify path. Okay, that works. Okay, the bash profile. Okay, I'm to a new tab here, and let's delete this. And beam the bash profile, and I can add this and a comment for Rust setup. Why isn't read only? What? Okay, seems like the installation is done. I'm going to close this and let's look for the bash profile. Okay, it does not contain. Why this is read-only file? Okay, I need to. Okay, that may be the problem. The absences were for me. Terminal sudo show. Okay, yeah. I need to change the owner of this file. Bash profile. Hmm. It's from the root, not from me. What else as from root? Honda, for example. This is interesting. Seems that a better option that the accept answer should have shown who I am. Okay, let's see if this works even without having to change or add that file. Maybe adding it to the bin Rust setup. Okay, no Rust setup found. So Vim, no, ctsh config. Here, no, sorry. Source and source for this was what? Cargo env saved. View overload. Now the rest of target. No. So I think we should modify this then. Rather than update this bash manually for Mac users, consider first changing the permissions, and then rerunning the Rust up as suggested. Okay, let's check permissions again. Bash profile. Okay, bash profile is now owned by me. CSH configurations now can be deleted from here. And the bash profile can be now modified. Okay, no warnings of just reading, so Rust setup source. Okay, save this. Let's full reload the and Rust setup target. Okay, okay. Well, if this is add, I think we now can do this. Uh-huh. It's now installed. To get started, you may need to restart the current shell. This will reload the path environment variable include in cargo directory. Okay, let's reload this and check what's inside the bash profile. Okay, it added this, not the Rust, I don't know what thing. So we can delete this, and this, and this, and this is what was added. So save that, and now the Rust setup program. What? Rust target was aimed. Okay, Rust is installed and managed by the Rust setup tool. Rust had a 6-week release process, great numbers platform. The Rust developer tools are installed in the cargo bin directory, and this is where you will find the tool chain according to its primary. In, if after installation cancel fails, okay, Rust C slash version could not find according to its customary for the Rust developers to include this directory in the file environment variable. During installation, Rust will attempt to configure path because of differences between platforms, common shells, and books in Rust setup. The modifications to path might not affect until the console is restarted or the user is logged out, or it might not success at all. Okay, interesting to know. So we should have a cargo, okay, that contains a bin directory that contains the toolchain including Rust C, cargo, and Rust setup. Yeah, it's the I don't know what happened there. Home cargo. Okay. Reload and Rust. Version. What's happening with Rust? Okay. Any clues? Really cool. The scenes debugging thought, CH mode. Okay, now I'm the owner of the file, not of the root, so we're over that, but thanks. Really cool to see the debugging thought. Okay, thank you. Um, I don't know why I'm facing this issue here. The solution to work for me, it's open the bash profile and use VS Code as a home editor and add this code below. Sudo homes bash profile. Maybe I will add it then to my CSH configuration too. And we were talking about home slash what dot cargo slash emp. And then export cost. No, but I have the home here, so no need to do that. Okay, I think we're covered with just this. Okay, let's try another full reload. And okay, According its summary for the path. Okay, if I do something then like this, that will be cargo slash bin slash rust c slash version. Okay, the thing, the installation is correct, that means, but this it is not finding its path. And according to this, an option it's to log out. So give me a second, I will restart this thing and we'll see if that works. I'll be back. You misspelled version. No, no, version is not misspelled. Actually, this is the proof of that. That here, if I change not the comment, but the thing, the version, it's correct setup. Um, Actually, I'm going to do another thing instead of restarting, because since this works, I can just do this, but first adding cargo slash bin slash rust setup, and this should work. Yeah, exactly. That's a trick. Hmm. Awesome. So now we can continue. My editors have support for Rust, blah blah blah. We are going to use VS Code, so that will be cool. Installing Soroban. The Soroban TLI can be execute Soroban contracts. Install the latest version of the Soroban CLI using cargo. So same as this. Blah blah blah. Dot cargo slash bin slash cargo. Right. Sorry, I'm in Italy before the changes. Oh, sorry if that's true. I didn't realize that, but thank you. Okay, let's continue. Okay, keep downloading. Report issues, blah blah blah. Usage. Run servant command, and you'll see now an output like this. Okay, let's test if that's true or if I had to do something else. Tip: you can use servant completions to generate short completions for Bash, Albish, Fish, PowerShell, and CSH. Okay, now for the moment, configure the CLI for testnet. Okay, first let's wait until this is downloaded. Any questions this far? I would like to see. I know we spent a lot of time debugging this Rust error, but I hope, as Ridwick said, the cool thing was a cool thing to say the debugging too. Can you do it in a virtual environment? Um, yeah, I don't see why not. Did you do the WASM stuff after Rust, or Rust install itself got stuck? No, the thing is that Rust was installed correctly, but it wanted to be to access a file that I don't create. Actually, if you see my screen, I am using CDSH plus all my CDSH. Um, and lots of things which it's a different shell that the one that comes with the Mac, and I'm using Hyper, and there's that was an issue with my configuration of the terminal. You probably don't have an error like this, or if you do, you can follow my steps. What else? You see, I have the configuration even for Conda in two separate files, which I now realize I need to clear all that stuff. And same, after this session, I will have to take a time to set the path correctly for the cargo folder, because we can execute the commands. I mean, Rust, it's correctly installed. The thing, it's the path to the installation, it's not being recognized by my terminal configuration. So that's it. I know I don't realize at the moment, but now I get it clear. Um, Hi, where can I see the previous videos of today? You can always watch the recordings on Twitch, but also on the YouTube channel. Thanks here, Airwax. Can you do it in a virtual environment? Yeah, you missed the version. We go that. Amazon. It was when the error was happening. The pad was not set. Okay, thank you. Um, Also, I installed everything on Windows System for Linux. Should I install on Windows as well later, or should Windows System for Linux be enough? I think Windows System for Linux should be just enough, because actually you're installing it on your Windows, so you're just accessing via the WSL. So don't worry. Um, but I'm not completely sure. Uh, According to what I know about Windows, that should be enough. But I don't want to lie to you, to be honest. Let's continue to see if this is done. Oh, okay, keeps loading, but we're almost there. Just 30 packages more to come. Let's continue exploring this, and let's keep to the setup and to the hello world. Okay, we can close this now, and close this now. Once you set up the Soroban thing on the CLI, we can create a new project, and we can add the .log, the tom, the README, the contracts, and then I'm thinking deploying those contracts. Yeah, cargo source, contracts, unit tests, run tests, build the contracts, optimize builds, and the summary, deploying to the testnet. Okay, we need to hurry. Installation, come on, come on, come on. Less than 10 packages more to come. And once this is done, what we needed to do, just hit Soroban, right? Okay. Okay. You're a beautiful man. Hey guys. Okay, thanks. Um, oh no, I think it's stuck here. I just hope it's nothing about my internet connection. Um, but let's explore these example contracts in the meantime. The Sovereign team has put together a collection of example contracts to demonstrate the use of Soroban, the smart contracts platform. Many of these example contracts were written on a companion tutorial that will walk you through the example contract and describe a little bit more of the design. The events, the logging, the authentication, allocation, atomic swaps, time locked, single off sale, liquidity pool, tokens, custom, fast testing. What could be great? Publish events for a smart contract. The basic one, the first one, These events examples demonstrate how to push events from a contract. This example, it's an extension of the storing data example they had. Running the example, you can git clone the repo they have here. Um, Open these things, the code. Let's explore the code. It sets a counter. The contract is defined as the public increment contract. We mount storage not value set, assume this, event.storage, save the counter, and return the contract to the caller. This example contract extends the increment by example by publishing an event each time the counter is incremented. Contracts event lets contract submit information about what the other contract is doing. Contracts can publish events using the environment events public function. And well, I realize now they give a lot of importance to the tests. That's a great thing. Okay, okay. At least it's not 56. It's only two more to go. Okay, interesting about the events. Custom times. I want to see the out. These out examples demonstrate how to implement authentication and authorization using the Soroban host managed out framework. For an example, they have the same, the GitHub repo, and let's see the code. Poop counter of the address, increment contract. It's they have a lot of explanation here, so that's really cool. Increment increase the counter for the users and return values. Users required out the data key generated for the clone of the user. It's stored in the key, and then it's passed and the persistent storage, and then the counter is implemented. Then the storage again it's set as the key and the account. The example contract stores a personal address counter that can be only incremented by the owner of that address. Ooh, okay. It's interesting. And again, lots of tests. That's cool. So finally, this is done and we can return to this. Let's run Soroban just like that. Soroban. Ha ha ha. No command found Soroban. Full reload. Let's see if that helps. Soroban. Okay, finally, we can be missing the same about the dot cargo slash bin. Okay, yeah. So dot cargo slash bin slash server, whatever. And servant exactly build, deploy, interact, blah blah blah. The commands, the options. We're good to go here. And now we need just to configure this. But after dot cargo slash bin slash Soroban. Okay, this is set up now. Configure an identity. dash cargo slash bin slash Soroban change generate global, and this will be Albert Albert 47. Let's configure an identity called Alice. You can use any name you want. It might be nice and have some identities that you can use for forgetting, such as Alice, Bob, Carol. Uh, okay, this is completed correctly. Servant address the Alberto 47 keys. I forgot keys. And this is my address of the testnet, like network configs for global, blah blah blah. By default, Soroban keys generated will find the counting of friend with to the server behavior. Okay, nice. So we now can continue to the hello world. Once everything is set up and we done with this, we can continue to create a project. For this, I will do what's it? City develop mcat the global Hagwick Web3 Soroban and cd to this. And here, a problem is I need. Okay, no worries. I'll find out. Um, Create an project, Soroban contract in it, Soroban Hello World. We will do that. The thing is, I don't know how to add this. Yeah, this dot. What was the cargo slash bin slash anti-comment server and contract. Okay, and now we have server and hello world. We need to code this server and hello world to open in VS Code. And what we have the server folder, the contracts, the git log, the cargo log, the cargo tom, and the readme. And it's the same as we were expecting. Cargo log, contracts, source. In the source, we have lib and test. Amazing. So let's explain what this is. Cargo tom is the file at the root of the project that sets up the Rust workspace, which allows us to include multiple Soroban contracts in one project. This Rust workspace has the cargo tom, set the members space as all contents of the contracts directory, and sets the workspace of the Soroban SDK dependency version, including the test utils, which allows the test utilities to be generated for calling the contract in tests. The cargo tom looks like this, right? Works dependencies. Also, we have the profile releases and more information section. Releases of the profile. The profile releases optimize the country builds critically. Soroban contracts had maximum size of 64k kilobytes. Rust program, even small ones, without these configurations, almost always exceeds this size. The cargo tom has following released profiles to be configured. the up level, overflow checks, debugging strips, debugging insertion, panic, code generation, and LTO. Release with logs, which is this last part, just has inerts and debugger session. This profile can be used in order to build a .wasm file that has logs enabled for printing the debug logs when it comes to the Soroban CLI. Then on the folder of the contracts, the contract directory, we will find the Hello World contract in there for get started. And this includes the source, the lab, and the test. Each contract should have its own cargo tone. Okay. Yeah, it has their own, which is inside the Hello World folder, which has a source and a cargo tone. Okay. That we just discussed. This is where we can specify contracts, specify package information, the name, the version, edition, the publish. Um, so let's see this one. What else have? The library dependencies and the dev dependencies, right? So we're skipping that information for having this easy to deploy. Any questions this far? Uh, I have dimmer. Thanks for us. I will see more streams or for dimmer with Rust. Contract source code. Creating Soroban contract involves writing Rust code in the project's lib.rs file. All contracts should begin with this sentence. Let's see this lib.rs. And the contract imports the types and the macros that are needed for the Soroban SDK. This section here, I think. Let me change this. Yeah. Contracts, contract imp, symbol short, verb, ink, etc. Contract inputs must not be references. The contract attributes designates the contract, such as this, blah blah blah. Putting those pieces together as a simple contract looks like this, which is what we have here, the Hello World contract. Publish for simple hello 2. Note that the mod test align bottom. This is where we tell Rust to compile and Rust test code, which we'll take a look at next. Contract unit tests. We have the lib and the test. Writing tests for Soroban contracts involve writing Rust code using the test facilities and toolchain that you're used for generating Rust code. Giving our hello contract a simple test will look like this. If any test is the first thing that is all required in an AMP, which is the Soroban environment that the contract will be run inside of. Well, let's not focus right now on the test. So run the test, build the contract. Let's build the contract. To build servant contract to deploy on or run, use the servant contracts build command. At this point, I'm going to open terminal here. I'm going to make this bigger so you can have a better view. Um, what's cargo? What's bin? And command with servant contract build. Cargo manage such file directory. Am I in? No, I'm in the correct. Maybe cargo test is needed. Wow, and this is for a hello world. Okay. To build Soroban contract to deploy or run, use the Soroban contract build command. This is a small wrapper around the cargo build that sets the target to blah 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 around the proper release. You can think of it as a shortcut for the following command. Okay, nice. So then now we can do cargo contract build. Cargo metadata. Am I skipping a step? Well, if this is a shortcut for this, we can do this instead, right? Cargo build, target blah 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 release. Okay, now this is done. That was file we all coded in the target directory. Nice. Release, builds. Okay, well, I think it was generated, right? The was file contained the in target directory. A target was okay. Target was unknown released released hello world was here it is. The WASP file it's the build contract. The WASP file contains the logic of the contract as well as the contract specification, interface types, which can be imported into other contracts who it's to call with it. Optimizing the build and the summary. Now we want to deploy this to the testnet. To recap what we've done this far in this setup, we set up a local environment to write Rust smart contracts. We installed the Soroban CLI. We configured the Soroban CLIs to communicate with the Soroban testnet via RPC and configure an identity to sign in transactions. In this Hello World, we create a Hello World project and learn how to build a contract with Rust we create, and we have now our WASM file. And now to deploy it, we need to follow the next command. And for this, just let me make sure that we have the slash cargo slash min slash servant contract deploy the target. We have the target file, the wasp known folder, inside released, and it's the wasp file source instead of Alice. It's Albert. Remember that, and then that will say be testnet. So this is good to go. Nice, and it returns this that I don't know what this is. It returns the contract's ID starting with a C in this example. So replace with your actual contract ID. To interact, we can write a contract and the result we build back the hello function. Okay. In our contract, we are expecting the hello, right? So to interact with the testnet, we need to create cargo slash bin slash Soroban contract invoked. We are going to copy this previous contract ID. We are going to replace it here. And we are going to replace this for Alberto 47. Network is the testnet. Hello, hello RPC. And we receive the answer to this as an array of strings. Hello RPC. Nice. The double dash is required. This blah blah blah. Hello hub. Okay. So in this lesson, we learn how to deploy a contract to the testnet and interact it with deployed contract. Let's try to deploy another contract. Will you? Test snapshots. Okay. What I'm wondering is what's the CLI for generating a new contract. Let's learn network reference tool SDK, build your own SDK. Learn fundamentals, lumens, no, tools, developer tool, Soroban CLI. Mm-hmm. There's no CLI to generate a smart contract. I mean, because getting started tutorial project docs, basic tutorials, send and receive payment, follow receive payments, issue, build applications, build a wallet with the wallet SDK, build a payment app with the YAYAS SDK, access migrate with MoneyGram access, smart contracts, example contracts, how to guides, restored a contract, restore a cheap contract, test TTL extension logic, deploy a contract, deploy a stale asset, extend a deployed contract instance, extend instant, restore, flag wallet, RPC, generate, testing, transactions. Okay, let's continue with this thing. So it's storing data. Now that we build the basic hello world example, we'll write a simple contract that stores and retrieves data. It will help you see the basic Soroban storage system. This is going to follow the increment example, which is a single function that increments an internal counter, then returns its value. If you want to see this working, go try at Gitpod. This tutorial assumes that we already complete the previous steps and the Soroban contract. Yeah, this is the allows you to initialize a new project with any of the example contracts from the Soroban examples repo using with example or W flag. We'll not okay. So we have contracts. It will now overwrite existing files, so we can also use this command to add a new contract to an existing project. We do command again with a double example flag to add an increment contract to your project that you will follow in this getting sounds tutorial. Okay, so that's why I wanted to do. Thanks for explaining. Slash cargo slash bin slash Soroban contract init increment. And here on contracts, now we have the hello world and the increment. As they mentioned, all contracts should have the cargo.tom defining the contract. And in this case, the lib, it's the rs, it's the contract. The following code was generated. Yep, appears to be the same. And it's something like we were checking out where while Soroban was getting installed. The implementation here, the use of the counter, and how it stores, sets, and extends it. In most tests, imports, this contract begins with similarly, but with another annotation to exclude the raw standard library and imports the types of the macros we need for the Soroban SDKs to create. Soroban SDKs gets the contract lib, log, symbol short, emp, and symbols. The contract data it sets on as a symbol. Counter is the symbol that gives symbol short the counter. Contract data is associated with a key which can be used at a late time to look up the value. Blah blah blah. We don't care about that. Contract data access. Hmm. Let mount counter redo of the environment. Then we store an instance, we get the counter and unwrap it all. The event storage function is used to access the update contract data. The executing contract is the only contract that can query or modify data that it's or sorted. The contract, sorry, the data is sorted, viewable on the ledger anywhere the ledger is viewable, but contracts executing with the Soroban environment are restricted to the old data. Okay, the get function gets the current value associated with the counter key. If no value is correctly sorted, the value is given to unwrap or return instead. Managing the contract DTLS, build the contract. Okay, so now they explain us how we can create these type of contracts, but for building, we are going to do the same. Cargo build, target one, release. From the inside, getting started tutorial, run Soroban contract build, and checked what we built was this released. But it changed the name of the Soroban increment counter of the WASM file, Soroban increment counter. Yeah, we see both the hello world and Soroban increment 1000. So we need to test now. I think deploy contract cargo test. No, I think we can skip the test. Take it further. Okay, let's go to deploy the increment contract and two-step deployment. Upload the contract bytes to the network and instantiate the contract. Instantiate. Soroban currently refers to this as installing the contract from the respective of the blockchain itself. This is a reasonable metaphor. It uploads the bytes of the contract to the network, indexing it to a hash. This contract can now be referenced by multiple contracts, which means they could have the exact same behavior but separate storage states. Instantiates the hash. This actually creates what you probably think of as a smart contract. It makes a new contract ID and associates it with the contract bytes that were uploaded at the previous steps. You can run these two steps separately. Let's try it with the increment contract first. So we can do, sorry, here. Soroban contract install to the testnet, the same here, but it's over 47. And we have this ID. There was bytes. Now you can use one hash with deploy rather than once. So Soroban contract deploy. Cargo slash bin slash server contract deployed. This is the one we want. So let's return or delete all this. And this is over 47 on the testnet, right? And now it's deployed, and this is the contract ID. What's different between these two? It returns the hash of the ones and bytes, and this returns the contract ID. That's a different thing that we can use to invoice the contract like we did previously. And for example, if we run this, the cargo Soroban invoke, we change the contract ID. No, we want to implement network testnet, and in this case we want to do increment. You will see it returns 1. But if we call it again, it will get us a 2. And if we call it again, it will get us a 3. And this is being stored on the blockchain, on the testnet. Run your own network node. So the last step is creating a whole app. With these two things, the smart contracts being deployed on the network, we now call we can now use the SDKs. For example, here on the tools, they have the SDK library. Depending on which technologies you want to use, you can use the Soroban Rust SDK, the assembly script SDK, the one I love, the JavaScript SDK, the Python SDK. If you do Flutter, if you do PHP, Go, Ruby, lots of support for integrations with your with your favorite languages, right? So they have even tutorials. They use Astro, React, Vue, Svelte. Uh, they give you how to start using these on the public applications. And for example, here from the getting started tutorial, we can use this. Let's copy very quickly. But this will be in another project. I mean here. And this will be cargo slash bin slash Soroban contract init frontend template of the Astro one. Oh no. Okay, we will have this here. Just ignore the hello world. Generating an MPH bucket for this. Oh yeah, I know what I do wrong. Just wait for me a second. It's not here. This will be app hello world. Nice. And now in here we can code app hello world. That would be a big difference. And here we can check the contract bindings of the TypeScript. Cargo slash bin slash Soroban contracts to contracts packages. A value is required for the contract ID. Cat Soroban's contracts ID. Okay, I need to replace this. I'm thinking. Dot Soroban contracts IDs. Okay, I have no contracts IDs. Yeah, I have a contracts IDs. Hello world txt. Before we open the new frontend file, let's generate an MPH package for the full world contract. This is our suggested way to interact with the contract frontend. These generated libraries work with any JavaScript, not specified like UI, like React, blah, blah, blah. This project set up the world script, so Hello World client library was generated with the package directory as the Hello World. We attempt to keep the code in these generated libraries readable, so we can go ahead and get a look. Okay, I'm missing the file and I'm missing time because I need to prepare the um, the Today in Global Hack Week session, right? But we almost get to the end. We in these 2 hours we had run the setup for running smart contracts with Stella using Rust, which takes more time what that unexpected. But we deployed our contracts to the testnet and we call them via the CLI, right? So the last step is just to deploy them and call them, not using the CLI, but using an app, a decentralized app. So that will be for you to finish. I hope this was an informative session. Guess 4 days with 3 hours per day sleep is the limit. Okay, so just to close up and to wrap this session, I would like to see if you have any questions, you have any comments. It was a really pleasure to be here. Remember, we still have the today's session on StarNet to do this same, and you see the difference on how they behave. For example, the Flow and Soroban now, both first layer networks, one with Rust, one with Cadence, one with a testnet, but both with a testnet. But for example, Flow have like an emulation before even the testnet. So these differences are present in all Web3 projects. But at some point, they started looking very similar. Like you have to deploy things to the testnet. You have to create the smart contracts. Somehow, you have to build them. You have to test them. You have to connect with them using. You remember yesterday, for example, we could not access to specific properties because we were not the authors of the smart contract that was on the testnet. But when we do, we could access to it and modify, for example, the hello world string and things like that, right? Um, so let me just read the comments for Andy's stream. Dimmer stream learned Rust with Rustlings, so good to learn Rust. Yeah, I probably need more experience in Rust. Hey man, I'm a beginner. What can that want to learn Web3? I know some Python, C, and C sharp. That's great. For example, for this, you need to learn Rust in order to write the smart contracts for this ecosystem. There are other ecosystems in Web3 that will require you to learn another languages like Cadence, like Solidity, like well, many others. But in this case, with Python, for example, you can already do great applications using Web3. So that's how. Did you change anything on the live RS? Yeah, no, I didn't change anything in this case. Tutorial now, we'll just see what you do and follow along later. Really cool session, to be honest. Thank you. Um, Guess for days and 3 hours sleep per day, it's the limit. Yeah, you definitely need to rest more. Um, a rested mind, it's a powerful mind. We'll love to connect with you, Alberto. Hey, yeah, send me I'm in all places as Alberto47, but for LinkedIn, like it's a more professional. I'm like Alberto Camarena, just like that. And you probably find me. I have connected with many other hackers from the MLH here before. Love this session, both flow and this one. Thank you. And join us later today for the one of for Starknet. And that will be all. Thank you a lot for joining me, and I hope this was very instructive and help you to think of Web3 not as a hard thing, but as a challenging thing. Because, yes, it's challenging, but you can do it. You are amazing hackers. Thank you. Bye bye.